So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about an important topic in the history of India, and that is non-cooperation movement. I'm sure you must have heard about this. So basically in the earlier classes, we had discussed about Gandhiji's coming back from South Africa and initial satyagraha of Gandhiji, like we had seen the first satyagraha in India, that is Champaran Satyagraha in Bihar. Then we had seen in the earlier classes about Ahmedabad mill worker strike, then Kheda Satyagraha. Then there was one class where we have discussed about Rowlatt Satyagraha and Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now in today's class, we have decided to take a class on non-cooperation movement, which is actually very, very important from a modern Indian history point of view. So let us begin with today's class. But before that, if you are interested in watching the previous classes, then I would suggest first go to our channel, subscribe to our channel, go to the live section and scroll down. Here you will find this Rowlatt Satyagraha, Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh massacre that we have done earlier. Then if you go down further, you will see this video where I have discussed all about Gandhiji's Satyagraha in India. This is also a very important class where we had discussed in detail about the Gandhiji coming back from South Africa, Champaran Satyagraha, etc. And this is also an important video where I have discussed about Government of India Act 1935. If you're not able to find, then you can go to the playlist and search. You will find out a playlist specifically dedicated for GK and current affairs section where you can see those videos. Okay, I hope things are clear. So let us begin with today's class, and that is non-cooperation movement. So the first question is, in which year non-cooperation movement was started? Your options are 1920, 1921, 1922, 1924. What is the right answer to this question? So basically, the right answer to this question is option A. 1920 is the right answer to this question. So basically, non-cooperation movement was actually from 1920 to 1922. Okay, and this was a very prominent all India movement that you all should be aware of. So A is the right answer to this question. Okay, let's move on. Let's read something about non-cooperation movement or Wikipedia. So it says that in September 1920, it was started by Mahatma Gandhiji to have Indian revoke their cooperation from British. So the idea was that we will not cooperate with the British. Why? Because of course Indians were not happy with the British, the way they were treating Indians, and there were a lot of problems associated with that. We will discuss the reasons for non-cooperation movement also. Nothing to worry. So that is what this movement was started in September 1920 by Gandhiji, and the idea was to not to cooperate with the British. That is what the idea was. This came as a result of Indian National Congress withdrawing its support. I hope you are aware that just before that Rowlatt Act was passed, and we had seen Rowlatt Satyagraha, which was the first all India Satyagraha, etc. The reason was Rowlatt Act was actually gave the British police the power to arrest anyone without trial for 2 years. That was the reason. And it suspended the rights of political prisoners in sedition trials. And so these are the things we have already discussed. Then we have seen an unfortunate incident of Jallianwala Bagh massacre that happened in 1919. Usi ke just baad next year, this events happen. This non-cooperation movement starts. Okay, so these all are linked. That is why I have told you. So first go and watch this video. First go and watch this one, Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre wali class. Then watch this one, Gandhi Satyagraha also. First see this, then watch this, and then watch the today's class. So it will be in sequence order. So it would be easy for you to understand. So pehle isko kar lo. First I am writing. Then second, this one you should watch. And the third one, you should watch the current class. Because then only you will be able to understand it in a chronological order. History is all about studying it in chronological order, right? That is what you should be knowing. Now here's the next question, which is actually a passage type question. And if you know it, please answer me. I have not given the option because I believe that you all should be knowing it. The annual session of the Indian National Congress was held in December 1920 in X district, presided by Mr. C. Vijay Raghavacharya. It was during this session that INC, means Indian National Congress, passed the main resolution supporting the non-cooperation movement. देखो एक्चुअली हुआ क्या था कि सितंबर 1920 में non-cooperation movement was started, and I hope you are aware that Congress session generally used to happen in December every year. So हुआ ये था कि September 1920 में एक interim और Calcutta session happened, which was a ad hoc session type thing. Interim session, ये ad hoc temporary type session है ना, या emergency session कह सकते हो ना, where it approved non-cooperation movement. But since Calcutta session of September 1920 was a ad hoc or emergency session, the full-fledged session, which actually happened in December 1920, where actually it happened in Nagpur district, okay, in December 1920, where they finally approved the starting of non-cooperation movement. Okay. So the non-cooperation movement talks about boycott of foreign goods, schools, courts, surrender of titles, promotion of harmony between Muslims and Hindus, appointment of 50-member committee, Congress working committee. So these were the things that was related with non-cooperation movement. So you can see I have taken from the official website of Ministry of Culture also, in December 1920, Nagpur district, etc. That is what you should be knowing about. It was during this session that the INC passed the main resolution on non-cooperation movement. है ना, आप देख सकते हो, and the 1920 Calcutta session was a special session held in September 1920, which actually gave the approval for non-cooperation movement. But this was a special or a mid-term session type thing, so that it is not considered as a full-fledged session. The full-fledged session, which actually every year used to happen in December, this actually approved the non-cooperation movement finally in Nagpur session, or in Nagpur, which happened actually in Nagpur district. Okay. Okay, the next is which of the following was not the demand of non-cooperation movement. So please be careful whenever in the examination hall the question comes, you have to read it carefully, whether it's a GK or any other subject. So reading question paper carefully is very important in the exam, because there are times which happens that people know the answer, but because the candidate has not read the question properly, the answer actually you marked was wrong. So you have to be very careful here. Okay. Which of the following was not the demand of the non-cooperation movement by Indians, of course. So Indians demanded something in the non-cooperation movement. Which of them was not the demand? You have to tell me. So the right answer actually is D. Separate electorate for depressed classes. Okay, this was not the demand. These three were the main demands. What was Swaraj? Swaraj means a sort of a self-rule. Give us some way to rule ourselves. And that was one thing. Then, of course, justice for Jallianwala Bagh massacre. This we had discussed in the earlier class, that Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened where General Dyer entered the premises of Jallianwala Bagh and he ordered to open the fire, etc. Later on, when Hunter Commission was established, they actually, by majority members, they gave clean chit to General Dyer. And that is why there was a demand that justice should be given. Those who were the perpetrators of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre should be punished. That was the thing. Third is restoration of Khilafat in Jaziratul Arab. This also we will discuss. It is mentioned in NCERT book. And that is why I'm highlighting this. So all these three were this. इसको मैं explain करता हूँ. Let me explain it in detail. Okay. So basically, self-rule, Khilafat issue and Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So let us talk about this Khilafat issue in detail. This is a class 12th book, history, NCERT book, chapter 11. Okay. It talks about Mahatma Gandhi and national movement. So in the beginning of the class, it talks about non-cooperation movement. Okay. So in that it talks, so Khilafat movement was a part of non-cooperation movement. Now what is that? This you have to understand the concept of Jaziratul Arab. This is India. This region is actually, this is what we call it as Arabian Peninsula. Arabian Peninsula. This in Arabic is called as Jaziratul Arab. Okay, this region. Now I hope you are aware of World War I. So World War I happened from 1914 to 1918. And before World War I, there were two parties, France, UK, Russia. So England was here on one side, and on the other side was Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Ottoman Empire. So here you have to be careful about Ottoman Empire. So the ruler was called as Khalifa, or the leader of Ottoman Empire. And this Ottoman Empire was actually modern day this region. Was controlling Turkey, and this Arab region also. This was actually the Ottoman Empire, roughly I've made. Okay. Before World War I. But now what happens is after World War I, basically this Ottoman Empire got dismembered to such an extent that the entire Arabian Peninsula will now be controlled by the British and the French and these people from this part. Like the power of the Ottoman Empire became almost weakened. And after that, in Turkey, especially after 1920s, we had seen Mustafa Kemal Pasha ruling this region. So what happened was the Ottoman Empire got dismembered. So basically, and they believed, so the Muslims, the entire world were not happy. And that is why they believed that perhaps British, French, and these people are responsible for this. That is why in India, a Khilafat committee was formed. And they wanted that they wanted what? It is written in NCERT book, that to restore the control of the Khalifa in Jaziratul Arab and those regions, Arab, Syria, Iraq, Palestine region. Okay. So they wanted that this region of Ottoman, like Arab region specifically. So this they should be restored back. So 1914 guy, 1914 to 1918 was World War I. After that, this Ottoman Empire, which is shown in green color, got collapsed. And they believed that the reason was the British, French, and these people were the reasons. That is why Khilafat committee was formed in India to oppose the British, and the two main leaders were Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Now, Gandhiji realized this, that since Muslims are protesting for this and we are launching non-cooperation movement, so let us merge both. Why? It will lead to Hindu-Muslim unity. There will be cause of, actually, if we will take the cause of Muslim also, what will happen is there will be we will be united against British. That is what the idea is. Okay. So that is why it is also called as non-cooperation Khilafat movement also. Sometimes I hope you must have studied it in school days. Okay. So that is what you should know. Let us read some portion of NCERT book. So Gandhiji, I hope you are aware, we have already discussed this in earlier classes, that Gandhiji came back from South Africa. Gandhiji did his first satyagraha in 1917 in Champaran. Okay. Later on in 1918, he did the second satyagraha in Ahmedabad and the third satyagraha in Kheda. And these are the things we had actually discussed earlier. Then Rowlatt Act was passed in 1919, and against it, actually, the Indians protested, the entire India, and this led to an unfortunate incident of Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So these are the things we have already discussed. Uske baad kya hota hai? And after that, we have discussed Khilafat movement and all. So after that, this is the idea why Gandhiji incorporated Khilafat issue in non-cooperation movement, because he wanted that both Hindu and Muslim should participate in non-cooperation movement against British. So it was, the idea was to unite the people against British. That was the main reason behind it. Okay. And you can see in non-cooperation movement, when it started, we had seen lawyers refusing to attend the courts, and officials not going, people not paying taxes. So a lot of things happened. The idea was non-cooperate, not to cooperate with the British, not to go to their schools, colleges, offices, and not to actually, not to pay the taxes. These were the ideas behind non-cooperation movement. Okay. Now, the next one is, who among the following are the main leaders of Khilafat committee? I just discussed 5-10 minutes back. If you know the answer, please answer me in the answer comments. I'll be very happy to know. The main leaders, I've told you, Khilafat committee. Actually, the issue of Khilafat movement was added with non-cooperation movement. So the answer is Muhammad Ali, or famously called as Muhammad Ali Jauhar, and Shaukat Ali. So B is the right answer to this question. Okay. So abhi maine aapko dikhaya with it shown from NCERT book, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. B is the right answer. The next one is causes. Now this is important. Causes of non-cooperation movement. So kuch to hum logon ne discuss kar liya. Some of them we have discussed, but let us discuss more in detail, further in detail about this. So basically, first was dissent. Dissent was the narazgi, dissent against British post World War I. So non-cooperation movement started in 1920. World War I we have seen from 1914 to 18. Now after World War, I hope you are aware, whenever a war happens, what is the problem? The first problem is the government revenue is decreased because it has spent a lot. So it will increase taxes. टैक्स ज्यादा लगाएगी लोगों पर. The second thing, whenever a war happens, it disrupts global supply chain, movement of ships, etc., movement of exports and import. So it leads to inflation, and less trade. Trade कम हो जाता है ना war के time पर conflict होता है. So it leads to less inflation, less trade, increased taxes, problems in sale of goods and services, problem in sale of exports, impacting the economy in short. So people were unhappy. जाहिर सी बात है जब war होगा उसके बाद लोग खुश थोड़ा मतलब जो आम जनता हो तो victim बनती है ना. So that is why actually the Indians were not happy with that. The next is एक reform लाया था British ने, Montagu Caves for Reform 1919. That was actually not very pro-Indian and Indians were not happy with that. The next is Rowlatt Act, मैंने बताया था 1919 में it was brought. बाद में इसको 1922 में repeal कर दिया गया था. But at that time this movement was started in 1920. So people were unhappy with Rowlatt Act because it was very stringent. It allowed the British police to arrest anyone without trial for 2 years. Without trial means for 2 years. Means you will not be produced in front of the court. That is what you should know. The next is Jallianwala Bagh massacre. I hope you are aware. So people were wanting that those who were involved in killing of common innocent people in Jallianwala Bagh should be punished. And Khilafat cause, we have already discussed it. So these were the main causes of the non-cooperation movement. Okay? Now let us move on to the next one, features of non-cooperation movement, which happened from 1920 to 22. So non-violent protest, by and large, it was non-violent. Surrender of titles. So people surrendered the titles and honorary positions. Wapas de diya na. Resignation from government position, local bodies. Okay, so people started resigning. So non-cooperation means we will not cooperate with the government. We will not go to the courts. We will surrender all the titles given by the British. We will actually, whatever the medals were given, etc., or resign from the government post. We will boycott the foreign goods. We will use the Desi or Swadeshi goods only. And a boycott of elections that were held under Government of India Act 1919. Okay. So under Government of India Act 1919, they were conducting elections at state level. So many of them decided to boycott. The British were conducting the election. So Indians decided, many of them decided not to be a part of this election. Then features of non-cooperation movement, non-cooperation with government institution. We will not go to the government institution, etc. Or if we are working, we will skip it, we will resign, something like that. Refusal to serve in British Army. Non-payment of taxes, we will not pay the taxes. I hope you all are aware, you must have heard this type of thing. Promotion of Swadeshi, again, this is linked with this. Boycott of foreign goods a link hai. We will not buy foreign goods, we will use the Swadeshi or Desi or made in India products. Picketing of liquor shops. Picketing मतलब होता है जैसे ये शराब की दुकान है, लिकर की शॉप है, तो उसके आगे आके खड़े हो जाना, लोग आगे यहाँ पे खड़े हो गए, just in front of it, covering the liquor shop as a mark of protest. Establishing national institution, yes, this is very important, like Kashi Vidyapeeth, you will find it in Kashi, Bihar Vidyapeeth in Patna, and Jamia Millia Islamiya in New Delhi. So these all are result of non-cooperation movement, very important. Okay, so this is what you should be knowing. I'm sure you must have heard this institution, Jamia Millia in New Delhi. Originally established in Aligarh, but later on moved to Delhi. So this is also Jamia Millia Islamiya is a result of non-cooperation movement of 1920. I hope you are aware of that. Now other features include unity of Indo-Muslim unity. We have seen, yes, because non-cooperation and Khilafat issue were joined together, and that is why we have seen participation of both the communities. Jail Bharo Andolan means we will go to the jail. We do not have any fear of jail. Tilak Swaraj Fund. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was actually, he died the moment non-cooperation movement started. In the beginning of the non-cooperation movement, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, one of the very famous freedom fighters from the state of Maharashtra, he had died. So Gandhi ji set up Tilak Swaraj Fund in his name to collect the funds for non-cooperation movement. That is what you should be knowing about. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए तिलक स्वराज फंड के बारे में. Okay, yes. Now let's talk about spread of non-cooperation movement. So when we are talking about the spread of non-cooperation movement, एक यूपी में बहुत फेमस हुआ था एक का मूवमेंट करके, led by Madari, Pasi, Hardoi, Bayreuth, Sitapur were the main region where actually this was a peasant movement against high rent. So that is a part of non-cooperation movement. Another one is Akali movement. I hope you are aware. Started in actually by people of Sikh religion in Punjab region, and they supported non-cooperation movement also. Okay. and was a Gurudwara reform movement also. SGPC was later established in 1925. The next, Hannah, that is what you should be knowing. The next one is Rampa Rebellion. एक और है Aluri Sitaram Raju. He was actually from Andhra Pradesh and Odisha region. He also led anti-British movement, participated in non-cooperation movement, and he also led Rampa Revolt of 1922 to 24. That is also very famous. Okay, so these are some of the events associated with non-cooperation movement. Then there were Mopila Revolt that happened in Kerala also 1920s. Then there were other actually movements in under non-cooperation movement led by C. Rajagopalachari, Periyar, in Tamil Nadu. So these are the famous things you should be knowing. Now the next question is, what was the main reason for stopping the non-cooperation movement suddenly in 1922? I hope you are aware non-cooperation movement was from 1920 to 22. So why it was suddenly stopped? What happened? That is what you have to tell me. So the reason was actually Chauri Chaura incident, and I'm showing it from the NCERT book only. So first of all, let me show in the map. So this is the state of UP. Here you will find Chauri Chaura. And this is in the Gorakhpur today. Okay. So basically, what happened was in February 2022, we have seen a group of peasants attacking the police station. So Gandhiji always believed that non-cooperation, there should be non-violence. And that is what he believed in it. But what happened was in February 1922, a group of peasants attacked and torched the police station in Chauri Chaura. And where it is said that almost 22 policemen died. And that is why Gandhiji suddenly stopped the movement, because he said that he believed in the idea of non-violence. If the policemen had died, then we have to stop the movement. And that is why Gandhiji decided to immediately stop the movement. So the reason was Chauri Chaura incident. That is what you should be knowing. So let's move on further. Then when the non-cooperation movement was stopped in 1922, Gandhiji was later arrested and he was sent to jail for almost 6 years. He was sent to 6 years. That is what you should be knowing about. So this is what you should know. However, ये सब NCERT में लिखा. If you are interested, you can read about the Chatha Gandhiji talking about. If you are interested, you can read. Now, there's a question: in which year Gandhiji presided the Indian National Congress session? I have told you Indian National Congress session every year used to happen in December, every year, annually. And every year there used to be one president were elected. And one president was elected every year on rotation basis. So you have to tell me that INC session which happened, which happened where and in which year that Gandhiji presided. Gandhiji sirf ek baar, once only in his life, he was the INC president. Then, if you know the answer, please write in the comments. So the answer is actually 1924 Belgaum session. And Belgaum is a place in Karnataka. Now you will have one question. That's sir, Gandhiji was arrested in 1922. You have just told me for 6 years. So he was supposed to come out from jail in 1928. Yes, it is true, but he was released earlier. Okay, we are not going in that detail, but you should know that yes, he was supposed to be in jail for 6 years, but he was released earlier. And in 1924, in Belgaum session, this is the only session in which Gandhiji presided. Once only he was the president of Indian National Congress. Okay, so December 1924, Belgaum, Karnataka. Be is the right answer to this question. So here is Karnataka, and this is Maharashtra, and here you will find Belgaum. Okay, so ये bordering area. This is Belgavi or Belgaum, Karnataka में. Okay. And आप देख सकते हैं December 1924 Belgaum hosted the 39th session of Indian National Congress, only session where Gandhiji presided. That is what you should be knowing. अच्छा, एक बार हमको लाइन मिली थी बहुत अच्छी. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. This was said by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Very famous statement. Sometimes being asked in the exam. That is what you should be knowing. ठीक है? And इसमें बता detail नहीं जाना. We have already discussed it in detail about these things. Now I have one question. Who translated Gandhiji's memoir, the autobiography? His autobiography is My Experiment with Truth. This was written by Gandhiji in Gujarati language but it was translated into English by which person? So the answer is, if you know the answer, please write it in the comments. The answer is actually Mahadev Desai. Most of his book portion was translated by Mahadev Desai. Some chapters were translated by Pyarelal, but main answer should be Mahadev Desai. That is what you should be knowing about. So this is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you, everyone.